Well, hi everybody. This is Dear Mama Sal, and we are now live on our Friday evening broadcast, which in the next few weeks is all going to be about Christmas stuff. So, welcome. Today, we're going to be talking about how to cope between today, Black Friday, and New Year. And I really wanted to get a little bit of time to discuss some of these things because I know we've all got different stresses that happen to us, and we're going to try and find some solutions for people. However, if you are watching this on the replay and you're new, hi, Lauren. This is just so that you understand. What we will do is we'll start off with news, views, and updates. The reason we do that is we at Dear Mama Sal and friends are a group of extended family to each other. We try and look after each other's needs during good times and bad. So this is a really important thing for us that we just get a chance to do some news, views, and updates. Hi, Nana. And so you will see if you're on the replay at the notes below, it'll say 00 to such and such a time, news, views, and updates. And then from this time onwards, the topic of the day, which today is Good Friday, and beyond, the survival guide. Now, I do turn off the chat after the broadcast is finished. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than others. If the YouTube has started processing the vlog immediately, I have to wait for it to finish before I can take down the chat. But it does happen most of the time within a fairly short space of time, within 5 or 10 minutes. So just so that you know that. And the next thing is that we wanted to just acknowledge that we do a countdown towards various things. So, for those of you who know about December, we've got 21 days to go until December, and that is a charity where we dance for donations. Benji and Judy have been, and I've been involved in it with Benji and Judy for, this is our 8th year, I believe. And it's amazing. We started off and we're very happy to raise, I think it was 4,000 we raised the first year, and we have raised hundreds of thousands, in fact, millions since then, which is absolutely so exciting. So we've got just 21 days to go until that event. We've got 31 days to go until Christmas. And for those of you like me who don't do winter well, it's only 117 days until spring. Hi there, Beth. Good to see you. In terms of thoughts and prayers, our number one thing is Lauren, who happens to be on the broadcast tonight. Lauren needs our thoughts and prayers, as does her family, and particularly her sister Louise. Her sister Louise has had 5 strokes in 4 days, 2 of them today. And it just is so difficult to understand how that is possible. But I must give Lauren a big round of applause for her coping skills and the way in which she is dealing with her stress. Lauren, I think the person I met some time ago, or even the person I knew last year, could not possibly have handled what you're handling the way that you are handling it this year. To hear you say, you know, there's nothing I can do to help at this time, so I'm going to go and clean. That to me is really smart. Lauren, you're saying if I could see you, you wouldn't be saying that. I expect you to be crying. I expect you to be frustrated. I expect you to be a little angry, because who wouldn't be, Lauren? That is not the point. It's absolutely, you do what you need to do to survive this yourself, right? This is a huge, huge emotional hit on you. But I must say that from what you've been telling Jody and myself, you've been doing really well to sort of keep a lid on it and not go right out into left field. And unless you're lying to us, in which case I'm going to have a little chat with you. Um, but unless you're lying to us, you're doing a really good job. And it's, I would expect you to have all the other emotions that go with this. So just know that our thoughts and prayers are with you. And as Jody and I said to you last night, I'm going to repeat it for you today. We are here 24/7. One of us is likely to be awake. And so you just call out, and if we don't answer you immediately, wait an hour. We're bound to need to get up and pee. So you know we're going to be there for you. And just, I still think you deserve all the kudos in the world for the way you're coping with this, Lauren. I'm sorry you don't want to accept it, but I just have to tell you that. Yes, Beth is also a night owl. So, you can even go into the fitness group and she will be there. We're here for the little that we can do. So, but there are other people as well. I'd like for if you can, for those of you who are able to, some thoughts and prayers for Jody as well. She desperately needs a van, a set of wheels to get her from medical appointments, and she hasn't been able to find one yet. So let us please give our thoughts and prayers that one becomes available to her sometime in the fairly near future, because she needs it. And it's getting more and more important that she gets it. I don't have any updates on Erin, just so that you know. And Alice came into the broadcast, and some of you will have heard last week she had 3 discs out, and there was another problem, Jody, that I can't remember. I can't remember what the other thing was. I know it was 3 discs and something. Anyway, she told us today at the lunchtime broadcast that they have advised her there's nothing they can do to help her. And, that was so sad. So because we have a lot of viewers who suffer from pain to a large extent, we have lots of things to suggest to her. But what she said today was she's still processing the news. And we totally understand that it takes you a little while to just process the fact that they're not going to be able to operate. They're not going to be able to give her very much to be able to help her. But as soon as she is ready, we will, of course, give her what news we can and what suggestions we have from a really great group of viewers that understand pain really well. So the next thing, in terms of one step at a time, I thought that I would show you. We're going to be talking about how to survive the next couple of weeks, but I thought I would show you how I'm dealing with the Christmas stuff, if you're interested. The interesting thing to me was I need to thank you all. I'm definitely way ahead of the game, and it's thanks to you guys. Hi, Marie. Good to see you. So if you would like to see what I'm up to, I will gladly unplug my computer and walk you there. Hang on, I want to make sure that I can do that if you say yes. And show you how I'm dealing with it. I don't know why I didn't do this in other years. I guess in some ways I put off doing Christmas as long as possible because I don't do it well. Okay, so I'm just going to unplug the power. That shouldn't affect anybody. All right, and now I'm going to hold on one second. You see me close up for a while because I want to walk into my bedroom. So hold on one second. You can do this. All right, so this is what I wanted to show you, and it's a bit darker in here, but never mind, you'll get the idea. Right, now I need to turn my computer so you can see. All right, can you see my arm, apparently? Okay, so I want to start this end. Can you see that there is a box there, the whole set of shoe boxes down there? Can you see those? Walkabout, yeah. All right, so what I've done is I've put shoe boxes down in terms of the time. In other words, the shoe box right at the end, that one, right there, that's the first one. I thought I was visiting somebody tomorrow,
So I had their present all wrapped except for wrapping paper. I was going to do that after the broadcast. I've just heard that they need to cancel it, so that's great. That'll move somewhere else. These are a couple of Christmas cards that are going out. And these are a couple of presents I'm working on, and they are all in priority order. In other words, when will I need them? And then at the end here, you can see something with my name on. Now, that's there. That's there to remind me that I need to cook something to take down to December with me. All right, so that's why that's there. And so we're talking December the 12th. That's got to be done by then. And then here, I've just sort of stacked them up for you. These are things that I am wrapping. And then I've got one bag with stuff that's already wrapped in it. So can you see that what I've created is a flow of things to be done? Rather than keep thinking, what do I have to do next? What do I have to do next? What do I have to do next? I've actually created a system. Well, Jody, you'll be surprised how well it works. Because what I find I do is I will work on the most important one. And when I can't go any further because I'm waiting for something to happen, something to dry, whatever it is, I move to the second one because I know that's the second most important. Does that make sense? And if I hit a roadblock there for any reason, I move to the third one. And that's what I've been doing. I want to tell you, when I heard that first one that I already just waiting for the wrapping paper to go on, when I heard that was delayed by a week, I went, oh, I was all ready for this. Because the wrapping paper would have gone on tonight after the broadcast. Or in fact, it would have gone on this afternoon between the two broadcasts. So it was really funny. I was sort of like ahead of the game, and I've never been ahead of the game. So I wanted to show you that. Does that make sense to anybody? I've got different people's presents, by the way. I don't know if you saw all the Safeway bags or Save on Foods bags, but I've got different people's presents in different bags. So they're already sorted. I can see what I've got for them. Do I need to add to it? That I can, look at later. But at the moment, I'm doing them in the right order. So I thought I would show you that. I was telling the story at lunchtime that I was all ready to go to get a blood test done yesterday. I fasted all night, wasn't allowed to eat or drink anything for 10 hours. And then I found, I want to talk about this because it is so funny how many things you do without even thinking. And one of the things was that, from an early age, we are taught, we're about to go out. So if you need to visit the washroom, do it now. And you all know that one. So guess what? I was about to go to get the blood test done. So off I went to the washroom. And something made me pick up the piece of paper for the blood test. And guess what I saw? It also required a urology thing. So I went, I'm going to have to start drinking water big time. And it really made me laugh. However, the big joke about it was I got all the way to where the blood test place is, and they had closed for the day to do training. And it was like, and I just fasted for 12 hours by then, and I hadn't had my morning coffee or anything. And it was just like, oh, that is funny. All that. And it's the one day they decided to close. Now, I know that I could have gone to the next place, which would have been twice as busy because this one was closed. But, by then I'm going, I need coffee. Yeah. Yes, interesting about Beth is saying 1 year she wrapped the gifts and forgot to label whose gift was whose. We've all done that, Beth. And that's why I don't do that anymore. That's why I keep them in, even if I've wrapped them, if I haven't put a label on them yet, I put them back in the Safeway bag that's got a name on it. So that's how that's how I stop myself from doing that. Even if I don't know what it is, I know who it's meant to go for. Yes, I believe you can make an appointment. I don't mind waiting. It's not a big thing for me, Nana. But I do know that you can make an appointment, and I might do that. Oh, that's clever. Beth is saying that what she did that year when she did that was she didn't unwrap everything. She merely said to everybody, pick a present, see if it's yours. Clever. That must have been a fun Christmas. That's the sort of thing memories are made of, Beth, and I love that. It was like a game, yes, I can imagine that. And one person actually picked the right present. So when they opened up, you went, actually, that's not yours, it belongs to Fred, whatever. That was awesome. By the way, if you are new to watching the broadcast, a very big welcome to you. Please make sure you click on the bell that's down here. What that does is it keeps you advised of when we're going to do a broadcast. It will make sure that you get a warning, which I think is a really good idea. And if you haven't subscribed to Dear Mama Sal on Facebook and Twitter, really recommend you do that, because if I do a surprise broadcast, that is where I will announce it. And also updates on Lauren's sister Louise will go to Facebook and things like that. So we sort of use Facebook like our sort of newsletter, I would say, more than anything. Tip of the day. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I wanted to talk about that. How many of you have got old cell phones lying around the house that you've updated yours, upgraded yours, but you still got the old one, or two, or three? Lauren, you're so funny. Lauren saying, if you haven't subscribed to Dear Mama Sal, why the heck not? No, I didn't think you would, Nana, but because you're a very organized sort of person. And Beth probably hasn't got an old one either. But for anybody else that might be listening either now or later, I found when I was doing my downsizing, I had two old phones in the house. It didn't go back to the flip phone days, but it was pretty close. But what I tested just for the heck of it was I thought, wait a minute, I understand that I might not be able to use it as a phone, but will it still act as a device? And what I did was I opened up the phone, I charged the first one, opened it up, and it connected to my router. Is it my Wi-Fi thing? And it was awesome. So I went, wow, that's really useful. And then I got the other one and I charged it up. And I went, yeah, this works as well. So I can, if I've now got one in the kitchen for looking up quick recipes or something when my other phone is still in the bedroom. You know what I mean? It's just really useful. Or, I've got a plug-in near my couch. If I want to sit there and quickly look at something, then I don't want to go and get my tablet or whatever. So I just thought I would let you guys know that you can still use them. Or maybe you have one in the bathroom. It depends where you're going. I could really do with a second phone. So just a thought. You give your daughter your old phone. Yes, if I had a daughter, I'd probably be doing the same. Absolutely. I actually did try to give somebody one of my old phones, and they looked at me like I was insane and said, I'd have to buy the package. And I went, well, yeah. Well, that's not much of a gift. I'm going, okay. You understand this was not a person who did receiving well. We've also got a segment that we do on a Friday night, which is Look for the Good. So I wondered if any of you saw anything good this week. Yeah, Jody, that person really did say that. Yeah, and Nana's saying that she gives her husband her old phones. Am I still moving? Yes, I will be. but I'm not going to the fifth wheel. So I was looking for the good and this week, and I realized that I was at the post office to mail something, and the ladies behind the ladies behind the counter, I was asking them, is it getting busy yet? And they said, well, yeah, beginning to, but not really. And the reason is it won't affect those of you in the States, but um, here in Canada, we've got rotating strikes happening from the Postal Service, and I hate it that they do it at this time of the year. It's all manipulation. They know we're all panicking to get stuff out overseas and things like that. So that makes me a little bit angry. But what I did was I realized that some of the staff behind the counter had changed. And what I said to the one lady was, could you be an absolute angel for me? And she said, well, yes, for you, of course. And I said, could you please quietly just write down the names of the people here in terms of how long I've known them, because then I will recognize them that way. For example, I haven't known you as long as I've known the lady to the other side. And she said, and we've got a new one. And I said, exactly. And she actually wrote down, and I thought that was so good. She wrote down the names for me. And she said, that's so kind that you care. And I said, well, I always feel so embarrassed that I come and I clean forget your names. And so now what I've done is I've put those names into my contacts thing so that before I go to the post office, I can quickly check it and know who I'm going to be talking to and call them by name. So I was looking for the good, and she just laughed from ear to ear, and she said, only you would think to do this. And I said, well, when you've got a brain like mine, you have to come up with these ideas. And so I thought I'd just mention it in case any of you would like to share that idea. I use my Google contacts for all sorts of things. If I need to do stuff like that, I'll put it into Google Contacts and just put it, have Canada Post, and underneath I'll put notes. So just thought I would share that. We're going to have a time check here, and that would be for 23 minutes. Well, Jody, I even put passwords and stuff in there, but what I do is I put code words. I think some of you know that I have code words for my password. So I put the code word and anything else, whatever the number is or whatever, so that I know how to get in. But if you don't know what my code word is, you're never going to, you can hack me to pieces. You're not going to find what that word is, right? So that to me, I can, if you're going to keep stuff in the cloud, do it in a smart way is the way that I like to think of it. So the next thing that I like to check on before I should have maybe asked this before, but I'd like to do it before we get on to this. No, it is part of Christmas. We started talking last week about the timeline, and we all knew that we need to get the international stuff out, the cards out by the end of the month at the latest. So I wondered how you're all doing. I must admit that I did get my first international card out this week, and I've got 3 more ready to go. I'm working on them tomorrow, so they'll be ready to go on Monday, Tuesday, which gives me still plenty of time, as long as the rotating strikes don't hit my area. And then once I've finished the international ones, then I will start working on the US ones. If you get my timelines, right? And the last ones I will work on are the local ones, and most of those I will be hand delivering anyway, if I do. And that was the thing I talked about that last week, which was, maybe think about sending a card for a change this year. because people have stopped doing it. And I know that I really appreciate every card I get now. And I have a special place in my heart for people that bother to do that. I stopped myself. I stopped sending them for a couple of years. And this year I've said, no, I'm going to send them again. Good. Jody's saying her international cards will be done by Monday. Do you know something? I every year I've been too late on the international ones. And I've had to write to them and say, oh, I've just remembered one that I forgot. Jody, could you make a note for me, please? Just Lynn. I don't care how you spell it, because I'll know what it is. Lynn needs an international card. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I was just going, I always write and apologize, and what came to my mind was the first one I write to, and I'm going, and I didn't do her card yet. Okay. So I'm glad to be ahead of time, is what I'm saying. Now, if Lauren is still with us, she came up with something that I'm going to be addressing in a moment, but what I wanted to do is just quickly say it so that you can be thinking about it while I'm chit-chatting. That she has, or had, I'm not sure if she still does, a real issue with a trigger, and her trigger is people calling Christmas Xmas. And that was the trigger. So I want you to think about, because we're going to be discussing these triggers in a minute. So I would like you to think about what triggers you. You know, is it people ringing cowbells? Is it, you know, whatever it is? And we're going to talk about them in a moment, and hopefully give you some strategies to cope with them. Beth saying she got a really nice text from her half sister on Thanksgiving, first time in a couple of years. Well done. Actually, the first time since your mum died. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so Nana, if you just take a note on what your triggers are, and we're going to be discussing them at the moment. Yes, I am quite certain I want to bring it up, Lauren, with your permission. Well, actually, I've already brought it up, so it's without your permission even, because, you know, it's I think we've all got triggers. You know, some of you, if they play one more Christmas Carol, I think I'm going to scream. You know what I mean? So it's okay. That's what I want to talk about, is what is your trigger? By the way, just in terms of what I've achieved this week, I also think I'm more than halfway through the presents. I'm making a lot of presents this year, and I'll talk to you in the next segment a bit more about what I do for the final shop. Rick brought you popcorn. How nice is that? Give him a hug for me. What a nice man he is. All right, so how many, Jody, you said you're ready with your international cards. Everybody else, how are you doing? Are your international cards nearly ready to mail? Because you've got about a week left to be safe if they go airmail. If they're swimming, it takes a lot longer. Yeah, never mind. And if you've got your international cards done, time to start writing the ones that go to Canada or Mexico, right? The nearer ones. And as I will be writing the ones to the US coming up really soon. All right, so we're going to start on the Black Friday and beyond, and I've got a few questions for you. And the first, most obvious one is, what causes you the most stress at this time of the year? We're talking about this whole period between Black Friday and New Year. And the reason I decided to talk about this was because, have any of you noticed we are now getting bombarded with email about Black Friday sales and so forth? And I can't remember that happening before. That people are now have got us on their list and are sending us these emails. And I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one getting them. So I thought I would find out. I find that stressful because I open up my email and I've got all these emails and I'm going, what the, is this, and I find out that they're all manipulatively trying to get me to buy stuff for Black Friday, and I know the same's going to happen for Christmas. So to me, I've got to find a way of controlling that, because the way we get out of stress is to control that. So can you, Nana's saying that for her, missing the kids is so hard for her. That makes it very stressful. Yeah, are you talking your grandchildren or your own children? And I know that your grandchildren are yours as well, but you understand what I'm saying. The kids, are you talking adult kids or are you talking your grandkids? All of them, yes. And this is why I said to you before that maybe what you want to consider doing for next year, Nana, is you and Rick go and do the tour and go visit the kids. All right. Instead of waiting for them to come to you, maybe you go to them. All right. And you say no. Okay. Well, save up the money and stay overnight at a local motel, or rent rent an RV for a week and go and do the tour. All right, Beth is saying, working in retail, I can tell you most customers seem stressed out, looking frantically for gifts. Hardly see happy people shopping. All right, so Nana, you've said no to 2 ideas, and that's absolutely great. If you're not willing to go to them for whatever your reason, then sitting at home and feeling badly because you miss them is not going to help you. All right, now it's interesting. You see, you'd rather send the money for them to come down. Well, that's pretty controlling. That means I'm not going to make the effort, but I'll send the money. What I'm saying is maybe you want to look at that. All right? Yes, of course they're at work, but they don't work at weekends, do they? I'm hearing a lot of. No, I think you would not see them on your terms. You would see them, but not on your terms. All right. So you got to think about that. I'm hearing a lot of control in this, because if you really just wanted to see them, you'd go up for the night. All right. And just see them, give them hugs, and be happy. I hear all the things you can't do. And one of the things that I have suggested to people, if you want to make this the season to be jolly, if you want to make it the season to be jolly, don't think about what you can't do, think about what you can do. Another excuse, I struggle with traveling. I know we all struggle with traveling. In what way do you struggle with traveling? Just so I understand, Nana. But what I'm trying to do is get people to understand that if we keep being miserable because they don't come to us, we need to get off our jack and go visit them. Well, all right, Nana, if you say it's not about control, I will go with that. But I want other people to look at it from their perspective, because sometimes it is. It's about I'm not gonna go for whatever my excuse is. Oh, I'm sorry, Nana. Let me scroll back. I thought you said I'm missing the kids, so it's so hard for me. So that's not sad? Sorry, I just want to make sure I understood you correctly. Because that was, I don't know about anybody else, but my sense of it was you were really sad because you were missing the kids so much. So if I misunderstood that, I apologize to you. All right, so in terms of the other triggers, what I'm trying to do here is make sure that we all understand the triggers, all right? And what we need to do if we stay. I'm so sad that I can't see them. You're going to have a miserable Christmas. But if you go, I think what I'm going to do is let them know that next year I'm going to save up or whatever and, send them money so they can come and visit. And then if nobody comes, you're going to be twice as sad. But this is about, they've got their own lives now. They're grown up. They've got their own parents and parents-in-law. And so sometimes you've got to do it a different way. Christmas doesn't stay the same once your children grow up. I've got a friend of mine who's got children around the world. And what they do is they spend the year going to visit all their children in different ways. Now, luckily, they've got the money to do that. But, they actually plan to be in New Zealand as one place, for a couple of months. And then they go to somewhere else for a couple of months. And then they go somewhere else. And then they come back and spend the summer for themselves. And then they start traveling again. But they don't do Christmas at Christmas. They just do it when they get there, if you get the idea. And that's how they cope with having different children in different parts of the world. And so I think I've said this a lot, try not to make Christmas just on Christmas. Now, that obviously is a trigger as well. And I want to talk now to Lauren's wonderful point. And she said, that she hates it when people call Christmas Xmas. Now, is there anybody else that has an issue with that? Because that's a great idea. Beth is suggesting that she can video chat with them, which I think she does almost any day anyway. The other thing is, actually, you've just triggered something for me. I know that some friends of mine are Mexican, and it's so strange that what they were all going to Mexico for Christmas, but what they did is they put a laptop in my place. And they actually laid a place for me and put a laptop there and turned it around so everybody could see the laptop. And I had a whole meal with them, Nana. We literally live broadcasted it, and I had a whole Christmas dinner with them. How many of you can imagine doing that? It was wonderful, and people were asking me questions, and I was just chit-chatting away. And what I did is I made my own meal ready to eat with them. Yes, I know that Nana talks to her grandkids all the time and to her children, so that is wonderful. Yes, and Beth's saying she video chats. Yeah, Nana and video chats with them all the time as well. I want them all home. You see, they are at home, Nana. They are at home. That's what, And so cute. What I love about Nana, she goes, I want them all home and not so independent. But it's not good for them, is it? Nana needs to grow up. No, Nana, you bless your heart. I think everybody knows that you just want it to be like it used to be, and it's not going to be. They've grown up. I so understand what you're talking about. And she's saying, and any mom misses her kids, of course. I assure you, I miss my adopted kids, so I can imagine what it's like. Yeah, I'm not and that's why I'm saying, that it needs to go both ways, right? It's like I say to people, people say to me, "Oh, I haven't heard from you in a long time," and I go, "Really? That phone works both ways, right?" Yeah, you want your parents back too, and that's not going to happen. Yes, on the flip side, they never leave home. Yeah, if they never left home, you'd be going, "When are they moving out?" Yeah, that's right. So you can't win, can you? All right, so I want to get onto this Christmas versus Xmas. Jody said she also has an issue like that, and that is about taking the Christ. Hi, Andy. Taking the Christ out of Christmas. And what I did was I was talking to Lauren about that, and I said, it's interesting, Lauren, that to me, nobody takes the Christ out of Christmas. All right, I don't care what you call it, what anybody else called it. I have to tell you that for me, nobody takes Christ out of Christmas. right? I don't care if you call it Gobbledygook Day. I know it's Christmas. And so it to me, it's just, I found that really interesting. Why would I upset myself because somebody calls it Xmas? I also have to say to you that I understood that the Xmas was about Christ died on the cross, and that's why how they shortened it, because we know that Christ died on the cross, and that was where the X from Xmas came. And so, to me, I always thought Xmas was actually, if you understood its meaning, it was, a fair shortening of the name. Yes, and so to me, and then Nana's saying that that people just need to pay their respects in their own way. If they don't believe in Christmas, that's their right. It's not for me to get upset. I want to tell you, I try to go out of my way to respect some Muslim holidays and various other ones, because I realize mine is not the only religion in the world. Okay, so Andy's saying my opinion on Christmas versus Xmas is that for someone who's not religious, I understand that people who aren't religious might find Christmas offensive. It's okay for people not to be religious, yes, but you see, most people don't. Most people will not use Christmas. They'll say Happy Holidays. Yes, Beth says I text Xmas because I'm too tired to type a whole word, or yeah, exactly, or too lazy, and I totally understand that. And so we're in a society where things get shortened a lot. It's funny because I've got some of my friends who point blank refuse to call me Sal, because they hate shortening names. And it's really funny. I'm sorry, I've just managed to nuke the the site that I wanted. I just want to get it back. Just hold on one second. I'm nearly there. For some reason, it just nuked itself out, and I wanted to get onto this in a minute. Okay, so what I was talking to Lauren about was, do you understand that the only person who's upset with this is you, and if a few other people that agree with you. You see, the thing is, what helps us about these things that get up our nose, these things that upset us, is to realize they're our problem, not anybody else's. So it's, if I get upset because somebody calls it Christmas, that's my issue. It's not theirs. They're entitled to call it whatever they want. Maybe they're not Christian. Maybe they're not. So to me, if we are truly unconditional, then we will say to it's okay. They can do that. The fact that we take it personally is our problem. All right, so Nana's saying, I went to a store and they played Last Christmas Forever, and I don't want to think about what we went through last Christmas. Okay, now Nana, all right, and understandable, right? Nana, this time last year, Rick had a heart attack. And so for her, Christmas brings up those memories. But I'm sure that Nana knows that that's her stuff, right, for her to deal with. Nobody can change that for her. Only she can live a life of gratitude that he's still here to celebrate this year. And we are really, really grateful for that, I will say. So I think it's all about an aneurysm. Okay, I beg your pardon, Nana. But what it's about is, if it's like I'm saying, okay, well, every Valentine's Day I get upset because my mom died on Valentine's Day, and then Mother's Day, I get upset because my father died on Mother's Day. Well, that's my stuff, right? Nobody does that to me. I do that to myself. The way that I'm thinking does that. And so I've stopped doing that. What I do now is I go, it's Valentine's Day, and I have a special day that I now remember the best things I remember about my mom. I refuse to do the sadness thing anymore. It's like it's not helping me, and it's certainly not helping my mom. It's not going to bring her back. So, so to me, I think you're right, Nana. All right, I totally agree with you. Nana's saying not every year is this going to be like this. It's just so soon. It's only 1 year. Nana, how many times have you heard me say to people the first year is the most difficult? The first year of living something like this is the most difficult. The first year after a death in the family is the most difficult. The first year, I said at the lunchtime broadcast, what I am so duly grateful for, what I give thanks for every day when I wake up is I did not live in Paradise, California, where these people lost everything. Whether they, had money or not was irrelevant. Whether they were good people or not, what religion they were didn't matter. They lost absolutely everything. And to me, this is like, I am so grateful. And so to me, I look at it, people are saying, Jodi's saying, she's a Catholic, and I know Lauren is as well, and so Christmas versus Xmas was a huge no-no. Well, it's up to us. That's what they taught us, Jodi, but it's up to us to decide whether we want to get our nose out of joint every year. All right. Right. And Andy's saying he doesn't like churches, so he's not going to go to one again. That's your choice. It's like everybody has their own thing. Yeah. And Beth says, she believes in a higher power, and you don't have to be specific about a place to believe. That's her thing. I believe I'm quite a good Christian. I don't go to church. And so, but I try to make my behaviors as Christian as I can. So Nana's saying a big trigger this week was going to Black Friday sales at 6:45 in the morning. And I've been out in the dark. I haven't been that out in the dark that early since last year. Yeah. Yes, and that is it, right? So it's trigger upon trigger. First of all, I want to talk about this Black Friday stuff. Do you all understand that if you don't like crowds, and if you don't like pushing and shoving, and if you like good manners, don't go to the Black Friday sales. If you don't like lineups, if you don't like what other things happen, screaming kids or whatever, don't go to Black Friday sales. This is quite simple. And if you go because the prices are so good you can't afford not to go, unquote, then I would say don't complain about all those things because it's part of the thing. Now, it's interesting that Nana went on the same road as she had to travel on to take Rick to the hospital, and she said, it was fun. It was good. It was not too crowded for me. That's awesome. I'm delighted to hear it. So what I'm saying is you went before 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, not many people do that. Jodi's saying, I wouldn't go if you paid me. Right. All right. So Beth's saying, do Black Friday online. Avoid the crowds. Stay in your PJs and with a cup of coffee. Exactly. We have that ability today to do. And by the way, Black Friday lasts from now until Christmas. Am I right? They keep extending it, and they extend Black Friday, and then they bring Christmas specials on early. And so you wanted to get something, so it was worth it to you, Nana. I totally agree. You probably could have got it online for the same price. That's what some people are saying, all right? So this is the most amazing thing with the way that we can shop today. So do you understand what I'm saying is that the point that I'm trying to make about this stuff is we get triggered because we buy in. If you get upset with all the emails you're getting, put a filter in so nothing about Christmas comes through, or it all goes to your spam and you can check it once a week. Makes sense? Yes, Nana, I totally agree with you. You know, you were determined to get it like a dog with a bone, in which case you'd put up with crowds, you'd put up with traffic, you'd put up, and you know, luckily it was early enough that you didn't have those things. Nobody else wanted to go shopping at 7 o'clock in the morning. Yes, I agree with you, Jody. You can get the same price 2 weeks from now, 9 times out of 10. All right, because they just want to get rid of that stock. All right, so have we made the point here that a lot of the stress that we feel at this time of the year is ours? It's either because we weren't organized enough or that we are reacting to stuff that we have chosen to expose ourselves to. And you know, when you sort of get honest about that, then get a mantra. All right. So if you're going to go, don't expect it to be easy. It's not going to be. So what you have to say is, I know I'm probably going to hit a lot of traffic. I know I know that there are probably going to be lineups, and I still want to go. I choose not to do this online. I still want to go and physically get it in my hand so I know I've got it. And then all the time, just keep saying that to yourself as you do everything. Yes, I know it's difficult to find parking. I knew that. What do you mean? Oh, man is saying we expect too much. We're trying to buy happiness and it's not for sale. Yeah, I agree. I don't think happiness is for sale. It's something we do to ourselves. And so, so what I want to make sure is that you get a mantra going for yourself. If you do go shopping, now, what is the best time to go shopping? Let's say that it's now 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now. You're now 2 weeks away from Christmas. What's the best time to go shopping? Because now everything's open. You know, a lot of stores are open 24 hours a day. What is the best time to go shopping in those last couple of weeks? And where is the best place to go shopping in those last couple of weeks? What is your experience? You've all done it, I'm sure. More hair. Beth says a lot of people shop at Black Friday, not for the deals so much, but the exhilaration, the thrill of the hunt. Yes, those are the people that should be going Black Friday shopping. Yeah, Jody says she went once in 1998, never again. Yeah, I'm the same. Jody says the best time to go shopping is mid-afternoon or Tuesday. The thing I want to tell you is that go shopping when the little ones have gone to bed. And the reason for that is we know that if you go shopping when the little ones have gone to bed, the chances are at least half of the world is looking after them. All right. So somebody's at home looking after the children, either the mother or the father. So first of all, you've halved the number of people that are out there. The other thing is I've found the magic time is after 9 o'clock at night. If you want to have a really good, I do it every year. If you want to have a really good shopping experience, I find that going, you know, like I will do a lot of my last minute stuff at somewhere like Walmart, you know, where I know I can get all sorts of good deals, you know, close to Christmas, but also I can get a wide selection of stuff. And I found 9 o'clock at night, just any time after 9 is brilliant because you can literally run down the aisles with your cart. There's so few people in there. Now, there will be a couple of people in the lineup, but it's not like, you know, horrendous. And what I found is that I've done it 3 years in a row now, and I literally sing to the carols because, you know, it is so easy to do it. Right. Beth says the best time to shop for her is with her coupons in her hand and a plan of action. Right. Now, Beth is stealth. You know, Beth is a coupon shopper and she's brilliant. Personally, I couldn't do it. But I admire people that can. I know that they save a lot of money, and they can. I've seen where they can coupon themselves into buying wonderful stuff. Beth, what I want to give you kudos for is I know that you buy a lot of stuff really cheaply, and then you donate it to people who need it. And I'd like to give you a big hand on that one, because that's really a wonderful way to be. And I think it's awesome that you do that. So, do you understand what I'm saying? That be aware that if you don't think you're going to get emails or you at this time of the year, or be bombarded with flyers coming through your door or all these other things, then you're not being realistic. That's the thing I want to warn you, right? It's coming, and it's going to be heavier this year than probably you've ever known before. I If we don't understand that, if we wanted to go back to how it used to be, well, hello, it's not going back that way. All right, we're not living in reality. The reality is, we're going to get bombarded the same as we used to get bombarded with a lot of junk mail. We are now going to get bombarded with a lot of emails that we didn't want. True? If you don't want any of them, filter the word Christmas for the next couple of weeks and just send it straight to spam. And then you can check through it whenever you want to. And that'll save. Oh, by the way, I would put Christmas and Xmas into your spam, your filters. The other thing is, if you don't like crowds, don't go shopping when the crowds go. That was my point, right? If you don't like crowds, then go shopping 9:00 at night, when most people are at home. What other things can we do to make it less stressful? What else happens between now and New Year that's stressful for us? How many of you have already got your groceries that you might need for baking? How many of you have already got that going? For those of you who don't like to bake, one of the things that I found out is you can actually order pre-frozen cookies already cut out for you. I did it at work one time. Literally, that you can actually buy a box of frozen cookies or many different kinds. All right. And all you do is you just put them in your freezer. And when you're ready to bake, you just pull them all out and put them straight in. I have to tell you, I think it was as cheap as making them. And so give that a thought, right? Yeah, Beth, I'm not surprised you've got a stockpile of stuff. I think I've got most of mine now. Oh, for those of you who need a laugh, I'm looking at my grocery list for this week, and I've got bra lines at the top of the list, and I'm going, what on earth am I talking about? Have you ever done that where you've written something on your grocery list and you don't know what it is? And I'm going, why would I write bra lines? I don't understand it. And I kept thinking about it. And eventually, I burst out laughing. It was pralines. But the way that I'd written it, it looked like the P looked like a B. Yeah, it took me a while to work that one out. And of course, I need the pralines because I'm going to be making homemade turtles. And do you all know how to make your own homemade turtles really easily? If you don't, I can tell you in a heartbeat if you're interested. It's very quick to do and very rewarding to do as well. People love them. Yeah, I know, Jody. I'm looking at it. If you write pralines with a capital P, you'll understand how easy it was for me to misread that 3 times. So for me, I'm actually going to buy the ingredients for each thing I want to cook each week now, because this week I got the ingredients, or will be getting the ingredients, for the turtles. Does anybody want to know how to do them, or everybody's good? You don't want to do them? I started with my mincemeat tarts this week, just so that you know. I think I mentioned that. Um, the other thing, oh, you'd like to know? Really easy, Beth. What you do is you get some pralines, and you just put 4 of those down, put a Rolo in the middle. Beth, and I know that you got Rolos in your store, right? Just put 1 Rolo in the middle and then 4, make the legs out of the pralines. Then cover that with chocolate. When that's dry, turn it upside down and just smear some chocolate on the bottom. Pralines, Google it, you'll see. It's like a walnut. You could use walnuts as well. Okay, so do you understand? What you do is you put down the Rolo, and then you have the 4 legs made out of pralines. All right, cover. Just put some chocolate wafers in the microwave for like 10 seconds. And just whisk it up a bit. Put it in for another 10 seconds if you need to. Then pour that chocolate over the Rolo. When that's dry, I nearly turned that upside down with stuff in it. When that is hardened, just turn it over and put more chocolate on the bottom. You've got yourself a really easy turtle. I get people love them, and I bag them in the little bags I get from the dollar store. So each is in its own little bag, so it doesn't get broken up too much. Good to see you, Roseanne. For those of you who don't know, Roseanne goes back 6 years. she's been a viewer from way back. Good to see you, honey. How are you doing? And Jody, please, could you make a note for me that Roseanne came on, because I would love to update people. Give us an update, honey, so that I can let people know. Or let me know if it's okay for me to update. Let's put it that way. And so, how do you make snowmen? Oh, they make snowmen with marshmallows? I've seen them done. That's really nice. I definitely will be doing my chocolate-covered marshmallows again, as usual. I'm thinking about taking some of those down to December as well, because I think that would be fun for people. One of the things I will take down with me, and I'll make some this coming week so that they're ready. By the way, what I do is I make these things early and I just keep them in my garage, because my garage is really cool. At this time of the year, it gets, it's almost like a fridge in my garage. So I just keep stuff there, or in my downstairs fridge. And they keep beautifully. I've never had a problem. I prefer keeping them in the garage, because then the chocolate doesn't go a funny color. Okay, so here's where I am going from this stuff. So do we all get that the way to stop being stressed out about Christmas is to be organized? The way to stop being stressed out, I'm really decided I'm not going to do the stress thing this year. This is the season to be jolly, and I need to do what I need to do to be on top of it so that I can enjoy it. I know Beth's already got a tree up. Who else has got their tree up already? I'm going to be getting mine up soon, so I can start mine. So I wanted to do some quotes about control, because I think it's really important that we see how much of our stress is because we're out of control on things. If we haven't organized it properly, then we get out of control and overwhelmed. Your tree is mostly finished. Well done, Jody. All right, so here we go. Let's talk a little bit about these and see what it triggers for you. The first quote says, "You need self-control in an out-of-control world." So do you understand that the way that we don't get stressed with the lineups and everything is to keep ourselves under control? I chose to do this. I'm not going to let this upset me. I am here because I wanted the deal. Therefore, I am at peace. Okay, so I'm not going to repeat that for the replay, Roseanne, unless you tell me it's okay for me to do that. I totally understand your frustration. You know, the difficulty is, Roseanne, um, that you can see past the problem, right? You actually see it in reality. And that is why it's so difficult. Boy, I totally get that. Yeah, I'm certain that I don't know if you've met Beth, but I'm certain that she will relate to this as well at a different level. Yeah. Okay, let me know if I can repeat it out loud. All right. So you need self-control in a world that is out of control. All right. So if you're dealing in a place where everybody is pushing and shoving and whatever, okay, that's all right. Then I'm not going to repeat it, Roseanne, because when we finish the broadcast, nobody's going to see the chat once I've taken it down. So I want to tell you, my heart bleeds for you. Their stuff, right? What I would do, you know, there's something really good that, you know, do you remember Linda from the UK, Roseanne? She has an autistic son. She said something that might do you some good. She said that she won't let anybody complain to her for more than 10 minutes. If somebody starts complaining to her, she says, okay, fine, you got 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, she said, that's it, you've had your 10 minutes. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Either do something about it or don't. But, you know, I really don't want to hear about it anymore. And she said it has changed her life. So I think there's a lesson there for all of us, right? To limit the amount that people can complain. Or feel sorry for themselves or whatever. You go, hey, I hear that you're hurting and I want to, you know, support you in this. But you get 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I need to get on with my life. And I, you know, there's too much negativity in my life. All right. So, you know, what happens is if your mom starts complaining about what her husband is doing, then you say, hey, you know, I want to hear you out, but you got 10 minutes. So tell me the best bit. This cannot go on all day. You know, you're allowed 10 minutes to do this a day. And she'll get angry. But what you do in doing this is you train them that you are not there for you to complain to. This is like either do something about it or stop complaining, really. And I want to tell you something, Beth. She says it changed her life in her household because people were complaining all day long and venting. She doesn't talk to you about it. I'm not surprised, Roseanne, because I can imagine what you tell her, especially after midnight, my time. Roseanne and I go back a long way, and Roseanne used to do evil things to me. She used to actually I allowed her to do it because I was aware. But you know, she would literally encourage me to make myself a Bailey's milkshake, and then she would make sure that she kept me talking after the broadcast until midnight. Because after midnight, my language changed. I wasn't quite polite after midnight. I reckon that was my real time. And it was so funny. We had a lot of laughs. All right. Yes, Beth, I totally agree. Anybody who's been around any sort of addiction, unfortunately, the person that doesn't want to change is going to have to hit rock bottom before they will realize there is only one way that's going to change, and that's to change themselves. And so, you know, to me, it's like it's very difficult to try and change somebody. You can't You can't get them to do it. They're going to have to want to do it. And that's very, very difficult. She'll do it in her own time or not. And Roseanne, I'm delighted to hear that she's not wasting your time with it, because I was surprised actually, because I was thinking, I'm pretty sure you tell her exactly what the story is. My next quote: self-control is the chief element in self-respect, and self-respect is the chief element in courage. How many of you agree with that? That in fact, self-control is part of being respectful to yourself. It's about looking after yourself. You can choose to worry yourself sick if you choose to. As Beth learned, you can choose to stop eating because of whatever. But committing suicide isn't going to fix the problem. And suicide by not eating is one of those things, right? Except, it's not called that, but that's what I talked to Beth about. Why would you want to do that? What I think is so interesting is that when you're ready, these things make a lot more sense. If you're fighting it all the way, you're not ready to change, and that to me is okay. All right, it's like I think we all accept that not everybody is ready to make those changes. Yeah, I'm sure you did that in the beginning, Roseanne. I can't talk about it too much because otherwise I'm giving away too much of what's going on for you, and I don't want to disrespect that confidence. So, but well done. How many of you believe that the main factor behind success is actually self-control? That you can focus on the things that need to be done. That you don't say, oh, it's okay for them. They've got all the breaks. That you make your own luck. That those people who just keep going after what they want. I have definitely found that this mantra of mine, which is don't concentrate on what you can't do, concentrate on what you can. Thank you, Roseanne. I'd love it if you would email me. It's the same as it always was. I want to tell you that has helped me so much. Don't complain about what you can't do. What can you do? And do it today. Take one step. Just keep taking one step in the right direction. I assure you that getting ready to go to December it's a lot of different little steps that I have to take. Or I choose to take because I choose to be involved in December. And so to me, this is like it requires lots of little steps, and I'm trying to make sure that I do one or two steps a day to get me closer to December. And how about self-control is the quality that distinguishes the fittest to survive? All right, if you want to survive anything, you need to be able to stay in control of yourself. How many of you lose your temper during the Christmas season? And not necessarily publicly, but privately. And can you see now that is a self-inflicted wound? We've allowed people to upset us that much. No, Nana doesn't. All right. So well done, Nana. But if you are somebody that does, then in your own time, it may take you a while to see this, but when you can see that you create your own stress, that you create your own anxiety. Beth, I think you've got this one just about sorted now. I'm so impressed with some of the things that you have done and that you understand at a different level. Yes, you see, she says, when you choose to do something, if you really don't want to do it, it's your own fault. Yes, you make that choice. Beth, at last you're there. It's a choice you make. You choose to be upset. You choose to get angry. You choose these things. They're not, other people don't do it to you. I used to think that for so long. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery, and calmness is power. So I'm thinking, Beth, about you, when you're in a retail situation at Christmas time. Your self-control will be your strength. When you think right, you get mastery, and your calmness will be your power. You might want to get some mantras going to help the people who are shopping and just say to them, breathe, it's nearly over, and help them with that. Or well done, that must take a lot off your list for this year. Or, think of nice things you can, which I'm certain you do anyway. And of course, smile. People need that smile of yours, all right? And that attitude of yours will help a lot of people. So want to tell you that I am sure a lot of people will be grateful to meet you this Christmas season, Beth. It's okay to be a fat man. It's prestige and power and all of that. But fat women are seen as just lazy and stupid and having no self-control. How many of you have noticed that? Yes, Beth says that. I stay calm. My calmness with a rude customer makes them calm. And just a smile will do wonders to a stressful day. I quite agree with you. All right, Nana's got a great quote as well. She's saying, if you only expect second best, that is what you will attract in your life. Right? So true. So a moment of patience in a moment of anger saves 1,000 moments of regret. I want to tell you that my anger in the past has brought me a lot of sadness. And, I can look back on it now and say, wow, now that I can see this was my choice to be that angry. At the time, of course, I didn't believe that it was all their fault. But now that I can see that in a whole different light, it's different. And now when I get angry, I will say to people, give me a couple of days, I need to process this. There's something that's going on that I need to process. And once I've got that sorted out, then I'll be able to talk about this rationally. Because obviously if I'm still angry, there's something going on and it's my stuff. And here's another great quote for Christmas. Maybe this one helps a lot of people. If you learn self-control, you can master anything. Yes, Nana's saying that she thinks it through before she responds now. Or maybe she always has. Sorry. I'm Beth saying, when I smile at myself in the mirror, it makes me happier. I can imagine that when I smile at somebody, how can that not help them in some way? Maybe not that moment, but it will affect them. Yeah, Nana's saying she learned that. Yes. To think before you respond. If somebody triggers you, somebody says something, does something that triggers you, don't react in the moment. Really, give it time so you can work through it before you react. Because the way you react out of being triggered is not pleasant in a lot of cases. Longfellow, the poet, said, he that respects himself is safe from others. He wears a coat of mail that no one can pierce. That's like chain mail in those days. Right. So if you respect yourself, if you protect yourself from others, and you respect yourself and your values, all right, it's like wearing a coat of armor. And that's okay. I can remember once accidentally letting rip with a 4-letter word at somebody who was a very strong non-believer in bad language, and let's put it that way. But he said to me, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't say those words near me. And I remember reacting quite strongly inside, and I was actually embarrassed, and I said, I'm so sorry. I used that word inappropriately, and I'd like to apologize for it. And I will do everything within my power not to repeat that in your in your presence. So to me, it's if we can understand that everybody has the right to protect their own boundary. Yeah, Nana's saying that wherever you can, if you see somebody stressed, stop and tell somebody they look nice and see what the response is. Or I love that color on you, it looks great, or but be careful, because a lot of people today also react quite strongly if you try to compliment them. So be aware that not everybody reacts well to it. Nana's suggesting you do it to somebody you don't know. Yeah, I find that all the time when I go shopping. I make it my mission when I go shopping to make people smile. I can't remember what I said when I was in the post office, and everybody just cracked up. And I went, okay, that's my mission. You've never seen anybody react negatively to it, Nana. That's very fortunate. I did see somebody react to it once, going, "Who are you to say that to me?" It's their stuff. It wasn't, I totally got that they were in a bad frame of mind, because anybody in a normal frame of mind would have reacted, with a smile. Never do something permanently foolish just because you are temporarily upset. Wow. That is powerful. Never do something permanently foolish just because you are temporarily upset. Yes, I like that. The foam. How many of you have ever done that? You've reacted in the moment and then regretted it because you can never take those words back. So when we look at this time of the year, I would like to say, let us, because we are a group together, let us take this from Black Friday through to New Year as a lesson on how to keep self-control. How many of you are with me on this one? Yes. Now Beth says she can see this. She said, I looked at my worst one day, and somebody said I looked nice. And I was thinking, what the heck? Are you lying? I was having a bad day. I didn't want to smile. Yeah. And that's true. So how many of you are with me in trying to make this period between Black Friday and New Year a learning test, if you like, on self-control? Is anybody with me? I'd like to check in on Friday, see how our self-control is going around Christmas. And that we tell the truth about it. If we've lost it, let's talk about it. Let's be honest and help each other through this very stressful time. Thank you, Jody. I'm delighted that you're on board. I'd be a bit lost if you weren't, but I'm very glad that you are. And by the way, I'm starting, I'm going to go and see Marnie. You all know that Marnie makes me laugh. Did I show you the incredible t-shirt that Marnie gave me once? And I found it when I was downsizing. I can't get into it anymore. And I've decided to make it into a pillow. Did I show you guys? Okay, let me go get it. Hang on. Okay, so I need to sort of preface this with a bit of a story about Marnie. Marnie used to have this incredible thing that she used to say. stuff would be going on, and she'd go, wait, 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 wait a minute. And we'd all stop and go, what, Marnie? And she'd go, you mean it's not all about me? And we used to just crack up laughing, or, it would sort of be somebody went up and got seconds, and she, she and they'd come back and she'd go, you didn't bring mine? They go, you didn't tell me you wanted some. And she goes, so it's not all about me. But she had this thing that she said all the time. Anyway, at the time, I was the chair of this youth program and was for many, many years. But she had this T-shirt made for me. And this is what it said. You understand, this is what Marnie always said, it's all about me. And she gave me the ultimate T-shirt, which is, it's all about Sal. Don't you think that's great? I just thought that was wonderful. All right, Beth saying her struggle is buying too much for the grandkids to the point that, that her mother actually says that the children's mother says that's too much. They only need a few toys. Yes, I saw somebody buy gifts for a first year birthday, and I was horrified. I sat and I looked. It had nothing to do with the child. I have to tell you, the presents I was looking at were a whole group of adults trying to outspend each other. Have you ever seen that happen? All right, so Beth says that last year her grandson opened 30 presents. Beth, I'm going to leave that to you. If there are going to be people that think that's overkill, and there are going to be other people who think that's fine. All I know is I saw, I've seen it time and time, the absolute waste of money. If you're going to buy 30 presents, maybe donate some of them to the homeless, or donate some of them, to another thing. The other thing I would like to the other thing that I would, Nana's saying, if we go back to the Bible, it should be 3 presents, 1 from each of the wise men. Interesting. But what I was going to say was, Beth, you could turn that obsession, because it's your obsession, right? You could turn that obsession into a learning thing, which is after Christmas, you could go to Lucas and say, Lucas, I gave you a whole lot of presents. And now let's go through them and find out the ones you really like, and let's give the others to people who really need them. Good. Beth saying that shows that you've got control, Beth, that you're only giving a few gifts this year. Yes. I will give very little to the Travis girls for Christmas, because I prefer to make my gifts to them happen during the year. I'm going to go down, and I'm going to go and paint with them, and I'm going to go down and I'm going to craft with them. I choose not to spend it in gifts for Christmas. Why? They get so many beautiful gifts, and I don't want to try and compete with that. Yes, I agree with you, Nana. Why put the burden on the child? But, it depends how you word it. I watch Benji and Judy every year. All right. Do that with their children and go, all right, now everybody gets to keep 5 gifts, and then everybody gets to give 5 gifts away, and they take them down, and they actually let them share their gifts with other children. So to me, I think that's a very good thing that they're teaching them, but that's just for me. And I've seen them do it, and I just think it's such a great thing. Did any of you ever see the video of Juliana hearing that children didn't have a place to sleep at night, a bed to sleep on, and or not enough clothes, and she immediately went to her drawer and started getting out clothes for them. Yes, Beth saying that in terms of her background, her mum had a shopping addiction, and she went totally overboard. So you learned that, you learned that from her. I totally understand that, Beth. Yes, that's a nice idea as well. Nana's saying she buys Christmas gift for the girls, but she keeps their birthday presents for when they come, when you see them. Don't you mean that's when they come to see you, right? And then you take them out and buy the birthday presents. Yes, Jody saw that video. Yes, she opened up her dresser drawer and cried. Yes, and started to literally get things out. But the Travises encourage their children to donate their clothes and their toys, and they don't see that as a bad thing that to put on the kids. They see that is something they want to teach their kids, that you don't need 24 toys. You know, why don't you keep half of them, and we'll share half of them with somebody who doesn't have any presents for Christmas? And they'll do that, a couple of times a year. They do that, where they will give it away to people who need them. Yes, I totally am glad that you can see that, Beth. She was compensating for the lack of being a mum. She thought she could buy the mother title, right? Not every family has too much. I quite agree with you on that one, Nana. That's the whole point. So those that do, what is it? What is the quote? For those to whom much is given, much is requested, right? So I totally agree with you. But what's too much? That is a very personal judgment as to what too much is. For some people, 30 presents isn't too much. For some people, it's way over the top. That is, it's not for me to call that. That's for you guys. But what I do want to say is, if you think about who needs it, I'm looking at, do I donate? This is my dilemma. I have a fur jacket, beautiful fur jacket, that I can no longer fit into. And as we know, it's politically incorrect to be wearing a real fur jacket. But I also think about it and go, that's a really warm jacket. And so the question is, do I give it to a homeless person to keep them warm? But then I thought, if I did, that might cause a problem, because somebody might realize it's real and try and get it off them to pawn it. Or do I cut it up and turn it into a couple of really nice pillows for my bed? And so it's an interesting question. What I do know is I can't huck it into the garbage, because it's a beautiful fur jacket. So these are interesting times, right? The quote here says, the best therapy in the world is time out with your friends. Yes, Beth is saying repurpose it. I agree. Yes, I also am a great believer. How many of you are feeling some level of guilt because you can't afford to give very much? And I really would tell you that is a waste of energy. Give whatever you can and feel good about it. This year I don't have the money I've had in previous years. So I'm spending more time making gifts than I ever have. Yeah, Jody, that's what I thought. It could be dangerous for a homeless person to wear. So I may just repurpose it, as Beth says. I may make very pretty pillows for my bed. Along with my "It's all about me" pillow. I thought they would make a really nice pillow. Don't you? So I couldn't throw this away. I knew when I was downsizing that I'm never going to fit into that. I'm pretty sure. No, it's a large, not in my wildest dreams. And also it has such sentimental value. So what I am going to do, though, is I'm going to be seeing Marnie, and I'm going to take it with me and say, I just want to tell you I couldn't throw it out. Nor could I donate it, add it to the stuff that I'm giving to Dougie to take to Kenya with him. Yes, what a great gift to give somebody. Beth is saying, when I didn't have much money, I offered to clean family members' houses. Uh, and why is that such a good thing? Because Beth loves to clean. It's her thing, right? So, the whole thing is that's what you love to do. By the way, for those of you who didn't see him at lunchtime, um, did did any of you see the videos about Clarence, the cleaner? I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you what a difference he has made in my life. It's amazing. I didn't think that my house was that dirty, quite honestly, but I am amazed what he keeps bringing back to me. I'm just absolutely shocked. So when we look at these things, all right, this period between now and New Year is really going to be about our self-control. And so what I would like to do is on Fridays, when we do these Christmas things, we talk about what have we achieved, and what have I gained. You know something, Beth? I thought of you when I got Clarence, but I don't think that you would like Clarence. He does not move fast enough for you. Now, what you probably would like is that you can put him down to be doing some of the cleaning while you're doing other things, and then you can come back and just finish it off, because it is amazing what he picks up. That's awesome, Nana. Enjoy packing the girls' stockings. I'm sure you have a lot of fun doing that because you do it with such love. What are you putting in the stockings this year? May we ask you that so that we get some ideas? What sort of things? Oh, okay. Let me ask other people, just so that we can give people ideas. What sort of things do you like to put in stockings? So Nana's saying she does put candy in. Yes, I put candy. I put baked goods. In other words, cookies. Yes, I like making, what do you call that? Caramel corn. You or do you buy it and put it in? She puts in hot chocolate, the mixture with the baby marshmallows. A snowman pop. Yeah, that's a great idea as well. You see, and how many of you've noticed that adults like stockings as much as children? It's like, um, so I I have given up buying big presents for people. What I do is I buy little ones. Now, interesting, Jody puts in notepads, pens, candy, mints, lip balm, candy canes, toothbrush, snowman poop. Oh, those are the chocolate covered nuts, right? Sorry, I missed that. Beth puts in nail polish, hand lotion, face masks, the spa stuff for the women in her life. That's a great idea. Yeah, I'm saying I did that one year. I packed up a romantic novel, a really nice bath towel, and some good stuff for the shower or the bath, and wrap that all up. And I used the towel as the wrapping. And I chucked all sorts of spa type stuff into each towel, and then made it into one of those animal things with everything inside it. And that worked really well. People really loved that. It's very simple to do, not high cost. And so sometimes I think that works. That sort of stuff works better. What? Yeah, and that's why I'm saying be creative. Um, Look at what you've got. I still haven't done my box. Hang on a second. Some of you know that I want to turn this box into a work of art, but I also think it would make two wonderful clocks. That's what's stopping me at the moment. I'm trying to get it open is also stopping me, apparently. Hang on a second. So I can really see this. I don't know if any of you can. I can really see this as a beautiful work of art, but actually made into a clock. And have any of you seen any of my clocks? Okay, so Beth is saying my husband and I have a private stocking to each other for our personal time together. And we get fun adult stuff. And we always have a good laugh. What a great idea. Yeah. The kinky stuff, hey Beth. Seriously, have any of you seen a clock that I've made? I just want to make sure that you get to see what I'm talking about, so that you can see why there's part of me going, I'm not sure if I want to do that. Okay, let me see. Okay, so for example, there's this one. So you see what I'm saying? I've got another one in the back room, but do you understand what I'm saying? This would make a great clock. So it helps if I did it the right way. This would make a great clock. Is that the right time now? It depends which way I put it together. So I just think I would actually take the two halves and make two different clocks. But now, do you know the interesting thing that I found is that I can go to and order the clock parts online and pay $20 or something ridiculous, or I can go to the dollar store and buy one of their clocks, take it apart, and use the mechanism for $4. How many of you going? Good point. So if you want, if you're not scared about taking things apart, it's actually cheaper to go to the dollar store and buy a clock. Let me get the other one. Hold on a sec. Okay, so this is one that I took apart, and I poured the background. I cut a piece of artwork. I poured the artwork, cut it to the shape, and then put the clock back together again. What do you think? So, and this, to me, is just an idea of how that's a $4 gift, but it's upcycled, if you like. All right, Beth is saying Victoria is funny. She asked for a coffee maker and a book of some of your recipes. She laughed and said, it's weird that I'm old enough to be excited about kitchen stuff instead of personal stuff. Yeah. So what I'm trying to encourage you to do is to say, if you're on a tight budget, which a lot of us are, especially, if you're retired and so forth, or you've had a tough year, there are ways of doing things that are not as expensive. And, you're saying, well, what if they don't like the color? I don't mind. You know what I mean? I don't mind that they don't like the color. To me, this is my gift to you. Whether you throw it in the garbage or not, I don't mind. That's not my stuff. My stuff is, hello, I made you a gift. And that makes me happy. And I want you to know I cared enough to make you a gift. That's all that I care about. If I don't see it in their house next time I'm there, I don't really mind at all. Because if I do, it's a conditional thing. And I don't want that. So I look at it and go, we need to let go of that guilt. If we can't give a lot, I want to tell you that a nicely written card is a gift to somebody who hasn't had a card in a while. I took the time today after the first broadcast to write to Benji and Judy and thank them for all that they had done in my life, by putting me on YouTube. If you remember, it was Benji who said, I want to share you with the world. And I just wrote, and I talked about the things that had happened in the lunchtime broadcast, because 3 very distinct things happened during that broadcast, 3 different stories about people that we'd helped. And what I said, I told the 3 stories, and I said, none of these would have been possible had you not seen to put me on the air. And for that, will be forever grateful, because there are 3 people in the world from one broadcast alone who are so grateful for the fact that, we were there to help them. And so, I look at it and go, some of the best presents we can give are not, as somebody said, it's our time. Are you good at washing cars, or are your children good at washing cars? In which case, maybe you give, get creative. I do believe in this day and age, if you happen to be particularly good at gardening, I'm willing to give you an afternoon of my time. Just tell me which part you'd like weeded. And I will do, in which, what the priority order is, and I will do as much as I can in an afternoon for you. That's my gift. Yvonne gives me a gift every year, and it's to do my taxes. It is my major gift from her every year, that she will do my taxes. And I don't know if you know this, but I actually put, the first year she did it, she saved me a lot of money. The first year she did my taxes. And what I did is I took 10% of what I got back and gave it back to her. And she went, what are you doing? The gift was to give you the money. And I said, yes, but you saved me this amount of money and you deserve 10% of that. That's my finder's fee. You got me money back from the government. That doesn't happen easily. So here's your finder's fee. Thank you very much indeed. And some years it's been a very small thing, but I do it every time she does my taxes. If we get to the point where she gets me money back, even if it's $100, she will get her $10 back. Because to me, that's found money. If I did my own taxes, I would not find that rebate. I can tell you. She will, but I can't. I don't have that patience. I would just go, yeah, here it goes. So I think her gift of doing my taxes every year has become not only a present to me, but also one back to herself. Because she knows if she does a good job, she's going to get money back now. And by the way, she tried so hard to fight me on it for the first couple of years, and now she just accepts it easily. So, as we go into this, I call it the silly season, not because I am not respectful of what Christmas is. I call it the silly season because I think people get pretty silly at this time of the year. And I really admire people that can keep their cool. So it is my goal this year to make it a season, a season to be jolly and to really work hard at not stressing myself out. And I am so grateful that some of you, I should not have had, this is my SodaStream fuzzy water. And the air is coming back. So I am just grateful that some of you want to take that journey with me, because I really do need, for my own good health, to be more aware of how much stress I cause myself by leaving things too late, by not, being aware of it and starting early enough. And so I just thank you for helping me do this, because I think I'm going to have a bigger story to tell because of the way you've allowed me to share this. So this week, if you haven't got your international Christmas cards ready to go, please, please, please get them ready so they're out within the next week, and then you will guarantee they will get there in time. They'll probably get there early, but I don't know about you. Better that they get there early than late. I don't know why it is that if it arrives a day late or 2 days late, people, go, well, they didn't get here on time. So yes, if we do this correctly, we can actually get some of the joy of the season. I don't think out of the season. I think we can get some of the joy back into the season, because we will have limited our stress. And that is my goal this year. By the way, I definitely need you, Jody, to give me some encouragement to get the Christmas tree up this week, if you wouldn't mind. It's like I've been down to that garage 3 or 4 times, and the one thing I haven't done is brought the Christmas tree up. I just keep taking boxes down. I'm not bringing the Christmas stuff up. That's what I said I would do, because I want to go through the Christmas stuff. Yeah. So thank you very much indeed. I would like a lot of support on that one from you guys. Just by next week, have I brought the Christmas tree up? I'm not saying that I need to get it looking wonderful. Did I bring it up? Now, I'm not quite sure how Clarence the cleaner is going to cope with that, but we'll find out. By the way, he got stuck for the second time he got stuck. And so that is exciting for me to find out. The first time he got stuck on a very thin wire. None of my computer cables were a problem for him, but there was a very thin lighting wire that he got caught on. He got it caught on his system. And today he turned a bath mat over, and the underside was rubberized. And I had like a Swiffer mat underneath him. And that couldn't handle the rubberized stuff. But other than that, he has not got caught on anything. Beth, thank you. She says, be healthy, everybody. Drink plenty of water and eat your veggies. Healthy body, healthy minds. Beth, I want to tell you something that I cannot believe that I spent time this afternoon making healthy lunches and snacks. And I think about you all the time. I hope your ears ring, because I'm busy going, I cannot believe I am doing this out of choice. And I put another picture up on Instagram if you want the proof that I did it. It's just like, but all the time I'm doing it, I go, thank you, Beth. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Beth. And I don't know whether it's my imagination, Beth, but I appear to have more energy. It's really strange for me. And I don't know whether it is, I don't know whether it is because of the prepping that's doing it, because I'm eating better food. But I can definitely feel that my energy is beginning to increase. Mind you, it could be the magic moringa powder and the other stuff. Yes, something though, I have to tell you that if it were just mindset, I think I wouldn't have had the problems, because I'm pretty good on that side. My problem is I literally didn't have the strength. And the more energy is priceless. Yes, I have to say that. I've noticed that my steps a day, Beth, have gone up nearly double. And that's not because I'm trying. That's because they've gone up nearly double. Um, so thank you is what I'm trying to say. I really, when you first started talking about meal prepping and how healthily you were eating, I'm going, yeah, right. But, it got to me. And I thank you for that. It was really interesting how it really did sort of make sense to me. And I went, I think I could try this. And, the funny thing is, what really turned the table for me was that you said, I'm popping into Starbucks to buy their protein snacks. And I thought it's Starbucks. They probably have those protein snacks online. I looked them up and I looked at them and I went, I could do that. I could make those. And if I hadn't, I'd never discovered the peanut butter and honey. So. And by the way, you also gave me a lot of free healthy oils, because I noticed with both the almond butter and the peanut butter, that oil. I just pour some of that off and keep it for cooking oil. So that I can use it in my when I'm cooking things. I can just wipe the pan with that oil because I know it's good oil. So, you got me going on all sorts of levels now. And the other trick that I wanted to give you is for those of you who are compulsive eaters of cookies, I'm allowing myself 2 little mince meat pies, tarts at night as my dessert. I bought the little tiny 2-inch shells that I fill in with some mincemeat, and I cover it with a little piece of pastry, and I put it in, and I'm allowed 2 of those at night as a treat. So, and what I said last night when I had them was, it's a good job I didn't make a plate full of these, because I would have consumed a plate full. They were so good. But to me, it's like, can I do this? Can I just treat myself to a couple and thoroughly enjoy them? And the reason I can thoroughly enjoy them is because I've eaten healthily all day. And, Beth, it made me laugh tonight. Between the 2 broadcasts, I normally cook dinner between the 2 broadcasts. And tonight I went, what shall I have for dinner? And I'm not joking, Beth. I pulled out raw vegetables and a dip. And that's what I had for dinner. Normally, I would have had pasta or, something, ramen noodles, And I'm going, I cannot believe that I voluntarily went for raw vegetables and a dip. So you have made a difference in my life, Beth. Thank you very much indeed. Everybody, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for sharing your realities, both good and bad. I want to tell you that what makes this broadcast such fun to do is that we all are learning from each other, as you just heard. Beth is saying when you eat healthily, you enjoy small treats more and get more satisfied with less. Yes, I definitely am finding that. I want to tell you that Jody has already noticed it, and I have definitely noticed it as well. Yeah, I still have the treats, but I don't need as much. That is so true. And by the way, I was mentioning that when that when I've noticed I don't want as much meat as I used to. And what I'm doing now is I'm taking that meat and turning it into, mixing it with mayo or something and using it in my roll, what do you call them? Tortilla rolls for lunch. And, I just literally don't waste it. It's like, okay, I can use this and add a little bit of cream cheese with it or something and mix it up in the blender and make this into something to have, put some lettuce down and make a lettuce wrap out of it. And, it's amazing that I am saving money left, right, and center. And by the way, Beth, you didn't tell me my fridge was going to look so much more tidy. you know, that really stunned me. I open up my fridge and I go, wow, it looks so tidy. And I literally prep twice a week, Wednesdays and actually I lie, right? Today is Friday. But I find I do about twice a week, I prep. And it's I prep different things on different days, but it's basically twice a week that I do it, and I love it. It makes it so much easier. Why do one when you can do three very quickly? Done. So great. And as I said, my fridge is a lot cleaner and a lot tidier as well. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. Let's work on this. Let's keep doing what we can to make Christmas less stressful. And if we can do that, it means we have gained some self-control over the season. And I would like to believe somewhere in my heart of hearts that if I can do it in one Christmas, I probably will be able to do it for the rest of my life. So let's see how I do. I don't care how you do. Well, I do care how you do. But what I'm saying is, to me, this is like, it's my big bugbear. I actually got to the stage where I was telling the lie that I actually don't like Christmas anymore. And that is not true. That really isn't true. So there we go. So big hugs to you all. We'll see you on Sunday. By the way, if you want to know what are we doing on Sunday, we're doing the wisdom of Winnie the Pooh on Sunday. So have a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend until I see you again. This is Dear Mama Sal saying thank you for being here. Thank you for making my life so much more enjoyable. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend to all of you who are still celebrating it, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye for now.